The Bermuda Triangle is a stretch of open ocean whose 3 points are Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. It has long been a source of mystery and intrigue. While many people have sought to discredit the claims of its believers, it does seem like there is something there that defies the averages to have caused more than a normal number of disappearances. More than 70 ships and aircraft have disappeared without a trace, and at least 8,000 people on board these ships and aircraft have disappeared for no clear reason, and in many cases, without much trace. In this narrative, we will look at some of the theories behind this and try to come up with our own conclusions. The history of the mystery. The history of the triangle dates back centuries, even though its first modern mention was in 1950 in an article that was published in the Miami Herald. The actual incidents are far too numerous to discuss here fully, but a future video will highlight some of more interesting and infamous events for you, our viewers. You'll want to give them your full attention, but first, we must look at and discuss what could be causing these events. Although that era has long been plagued by unexplained events in the Triangle, it seems like unexplained events intensified in the 20th century, which would make sense as travel in the area increased exponentially. Airplanes and ocean ships would vanish, or the crews would just be gone without a trace, which leads us to the news story which brought the Triangle to the public's attention. It was in 1952 there was a second article which appeared in Fake magazine and laid out that now familiar points of Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. It highlighted the loss of a Flight 19. Flight 19 is an infamous event where 5 United States bombers were missing on a training mission. This led to another article, and then another, and then soon it was fixed in everyone's mind that this was the Devil's Triangle. Possible causes. Skeptics like to emphasize causes like human errors or equipment malfunctions, but that hardly explains the sheer number of events, especially when speaking of ships that didn't depend on more modern electronic equipment. However, the area is known for powerful and sudden storms, or perhaps it's something we've yet to understand completely. All that we know is that at least 70 incidents have occurred and thousands of people are missing. You'll have to make up your own mind. There are many theories of what causes these incidents. Some of them stem from the natural world, and some of them are more unconventional. Either way, something is causing them. The theories which stem from the natural world include things that go from the mundane, as pilot or navigational error, to much more highly speculative, while the more unconventional include things such as portals to Atlantis. We're going to attempt to place them in order of more speculative to the mundane and then finish up with the most unconventional. One theory is there are massive bubbles of methane gas, hydrates, which are frozen and abundant under the seabed floor that occasionally rise to the surface and capsize ships and interfere with aircraft. There are fields of these bubbles on the conventional shelves, and laboratory experiments have proven that it is possible to down ships with them. Skeptics would point out that scientists think that the fields closest to the Triangle have been dormant for 15,000 years. However, it is possible they are mistaken. A more intriguing theory is that there are existing magnetic anomalies in the area. It is one of the few places on Earth where true north and magnetic north align, which leads to even very experienced navigators occasionally becoming confused. These magnetic anomalies have also been associated with unusual things, like ball lightning, which could have hit aircraft, or perhaps it's the magnetic events themselves which interfere with equipment leading to downed planes and lost ships. There are also other theories that stem from the natural world. They deserve a brief look before we get to the more truly unconventional explanations. Let's take that look before we head off to the most intriguing, such as portals or Atlantis. Some people speculate that something like underwater seismic movement can explain the ship and airplane disappearances, though causing vortexes or unexpected currents. The sudden influx of essential mud would change the nature of the water, which could explain the capsized ships. But this does not explain the airplanes. However, it is possible that the release of the mud, along with the gases, would explain changes occurring in the air and sea, which would account for both of them. Another idea that has been discussed is unexpected ocean currents from another source. Perhaps it's the climate, since that area is not only known for hurricanes, but rapidly changing weather in general. There could also be some sort of pattern to the disturbance that we don't understand, which would lead to sporadic changes in the area's weather or magnetic patterns. We do know there are times when the Earth's poles shift, so it is possible that smaller areas have at times when things change just enough to cause problems for crews to navigate. Perhaps something like radio waves or radiation interference, which would cause instrument failure. It could also be something simpler, like uncharted underwater topography, since so much of the ocean remains to be understood. Or even the most simple, which would be human error caused by fatigue, or even something as pirates. Lastly, it could just be we are seeing something that isn't there because we're looking for it. Humans tend to see what they want to see, and maybe that's enough to make us see a devil's triangle, when all it is a total normal amount of disappearances that we're seeking to explain so that people's deaths have meaning. More unconventional ideas. Beyond various possibilities that stem from our understanding of the natural world, there are other ideas that deserve a look as well. The area's UFO sightings have fueled many people to speculate that others have been responsible. Since it's a land-free zone, I could certainly see why it might be a popular spot to pick up people for whatever reasons they do. They could largely work in privacy, since it's less likely they would be spotted before they finish their work. Another theory is the leftover crystal technology from the lost city of Atlantis causing havoc with vessels and aircraft. It is possible that they would interfere with instrumentation or cause anomalies that would lead ships to suddenly sinking. It is a fact that the Bimini Road is in the triangle, so who knows what effect that could have. It is also possible that the area has some sort of unknown gateway. This idea draws from the region's magnetic anomalies, since the authors posed that the anomalies are a sign that something or someone is creating portals to another time or place. Cultural impacts. Since those initial articles, the Bermuda Triangle has fueled speculation and captured the imagination. It has been explored through books and movies and television. It is a symbol of the mysterious and unexplained, and many people have sought to understand what is happening there. Perhaps as we better understand our world and how it works through the science and better technology allows us to map the seafloor and search for the missing ships and airplanes, eventually we will unravel the mysteries. Perhaps the answers are so far out of what we currently understood, it will take a fundamental shift in our knowledge before we do so. It's hard to say at the present moment. Sometimes having no easy explanation, it's possible this is one of them. It's also possible that we just aren't ready for the answers. There is a saying that trains get built when it's time for trains. That means that until you have all the pieces in place that allow you to build them, which would include things like the ability to melt metals for the tracks and at least steam to power them, you just can't build them for all they may be imagined by the visionaries such as Leonardo da Vinci. It is possible the answers will come in the future when we are ready for them. Whatever the cause, humans are fascinated by puzzles, and the triangle certainly is a puzzle. It could be that the search for the unknown has fueled the fascination with the area. For some people, it's a sense of all the missing people. What happened to them? Where did they go? For others, it's just the enduring nature of a scientific puzzle. What could have made at least 8,000 people disappear over the years? Eventually, we'll figure it out. But until then, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle will endure.